Okay, so on to match 3. We are currently 1-1 in matches. We lost our first, we won our second. So the first was against Elves, where we lost a double mind break trap. The second was against the Mirror, where we won against an opponent who played Bob turn 1. So we're going to mulligan this hand. We're going to have to mulligan We can almost keep that hand. We've got a scry and a probe, but I'd rather mull. No, okay, so I've kept it. So we need to get pretty lucky here. I think this isn't a good hand by any stretch. Okay, and we fluke it. So we'll turn 1 probe to see what we're playing against. If they're 4 color, we really want to be duressing them. Except they're 4 color with a very weak hand, so we're going to be fine with this. We'll just ponder instead. We kind of want the ponder. And the duress is fine as well, so we'll take those 2 cards and we're going to shuffle away the second LED, I think. So opponent's going to use this to fix their hand, and I think we're going to want to duress them this turn. As our nightmare scenario is kind of them drawing or finding land him. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and see a bunch of new cards. Okay, so I guess we should probably take the ponder here. They don't really have too much else going on unless they've hidden the therapy. And I think we're going to try to kill them next turn. So we will get to duress them and then ad nauseum with mana floating and a land drop. And so one way or another we want to take his force of will. So he can brainstorm or he can do whatever he likes. Okay, he's going to K-command us. Which is a little bit annoying as it cuts us off a bit of mana. Okay, and he did have the second blue card, so we got pretty lucky there. So what are we going to have? We're going to have 6 mana, so I think it doesn't really matter too much here what mana we have floating. The reason being, yeah, we're going to find lands along the way. So we've got a Past in Flames. I think if we hit something like an LED. Okay, so I think we ponder for an LED here now. Having said that, if we can't go off this turn, I think we can kill him next turn anyway, barring Lightning Bolt or K Command exactly. Okay, so we're just going to move to discard here. Well, I guess we should therapy the Baleful Strix. Maybe we should have therapied the Strix just as it draws him a card. But this is going to leave us plenty of mana to go off again with next turn. So now we're going to find out if he drew the command. So we probably should have held on to that blue mana. Just because we want to be able to cantrip as much as we possibly can this turn. So our opponent needs to snap Brainstorm and find exactly Force of Will. Now we should probably be running out a therapy somewhere around here. Well, actually, no, it doesn't make too much. Yeah, actually, we should have run out of therapy. So if they go snap Brainstorm, and then they don't need to cast the Brainstorm on the spot, but if we therapy and take Baleful Strix, we remove their only out. Unfortunately, as it is right now, we need to draw into exactly actually, there we go, LED. So LED, Dark Petition, and Tendrils all get it. So opponent's going to finally run out the snap. And we'll just take the Strix. And we'll just grab the Tendrils from here, and that'll get us game one. He might try to Brainstorm here, we'll find out. but I don't think he has any outs. Okay, so now we're going to try this ground seal plan. So 2 ground seals, 2 decays, and empty the warrens, and we'll cut a past in flames. We will cut a preordains, and a land. So we're finally going to get to see how well ground seal performs against 4 colour. So this is kind of what we've been hanging out for. Now it's possible against 4 colour we should be keeping the 4th Cabal Ritual and cutting a Lotus Petal, or sorry, just because we're keeping Petition in, maybe we should be keeping a Lotus Petal. The reason being obviously Cabal Ritual and Threshold Cabal Ritual and Dark Petition are just easy. We don't want extra discard in this matchup as they're they're quite heavy on him to 2-rack themselves. So a discard kind of is less useful. Okay, so we're gonna keep this hand. It's not great, but we can run out a ground seal turn 1. And we'll see what our opponent takes here. We're kind of hoping at the moment that they go for the tutor or the LED, and then don't have a surgical to back it up. But they're taking the ground seal. Okay, so obviously they consider that to be a fair threat. Okay, great. And we draw a ponder. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I think we have to keep it almost. Okay, so we're shuffling, and we're drawing an Infernal Tutor, of course, because this is Moto, and that's what happens with ponders on Moto. So almost worth keeping that, just for access to a black source. I mean, we do have a Lotus Petal at the moment, but it's not good enough, I don't think. So right now we're just kind of trying to hoping to try to draw into. Draw into it. We've got to shuffle and hope we draw into it. So at the moment we're just trying to decide if we can just jam and ad nauseum. This could be risky if we do decide to go ahead. Our opponent has not done anything. Which tends to indicate they probably have action in their hand. On the flip side, if it pays off, we probably win on the spot. Okay, and that hesitation means that they're very definitely considering something. Now, if we do go for this, we're not going to run out the land. We're going to have enough mana to go for ad nauseam regardless. And we'd rather hold our land for a land drop for a black source. Okay, and so they've got an invasive surgery. So now we're looking pretty bad here. It was a very risky play we took, probably unnecessarily risky. Given we had never seen their hand, we didn't know what was going on, and we were just trying to jam. It probably wasn't what we should have done. Our opponent's now going to have plenty of time to build up resources and find a way to dismantle our graveyard, so we're probably not going to get to reuse anything there. And I have a feeling this probably means we've lost this game. So we're going to sit on the brainstorm there. There's no reason to fire it off right now. We really want to fetch land, which means we probably want to have drawn another 2 to 3 cards before we fire it off. Unfortunately, our opponent is probably going to be drawing into him to Turak right now. We'll evolve, so now we need to fire the brainstorm off. So we'll keep the land and we'll just play to draw Ground Seal plus a fetch land. So I guess this is one of those times where we'd be really happy to have Bayou over Badlands, as the Ground Seal would actually be great. Now we've fortunately still got a few turns just yet. Okay, we really need our next draw to be a fetch land or a trop. And then I think, and draw after that to be something like Past in Flames. Okay, and we're pretty much out of the game now. So we're just going to run back the same sideboard plan. We'll just play a little bit more conservatively now. I'm starting to wonder whether or not Empty the Warrens is worthwhile in this matchup. It seems like it's very hard to resolve, and Past in Flames is better with the couple of Ground Seals. But I do also like having a low resource win con. So if you can say probe and see a hand that's missing counterspells, but you can only hit 5 Storm, and ideally drop a Therapy in the graveyard somewhere along the way, let's be honest, you probably want to flash it back to take their ability to find a sweeper away. It's quite good in those situations, but they seem to be very rare against 4-color. Okay, so we're going to keep this. This hand's great. We'd kind of like to have a second land. But with this hand, it's almost worth going Therapy turn 1, name Force of Will, or turn 1 Brainstorm to find our second land so we can play Grand Seal turn 2. Even better, we do have a Past in Flames in hand, so if we can get the Ground Seal to resolve, we're actually looking pretty good. So I don't think we want to crack the fetch just yet. We want to have a slightly higher chance of drawing a land, which we do. Okay, and I think we want to pitch a Therapy and Underground Sea. So I think that was incorrect. Okay, so we want to take the Polluted Delta there. We're going to want to take that next turn. So we're going to want to use that to duress next turn and then play a Ground Seal. Okay, and Deathrite Shaman has come along just in time. So we want to take Force of Will, if they have it. If not, we'll just take whatever other interaction they have. It's possible they have something like an Invasive Surgery. In that case, so be it. We're not going to stress out about that. Okay. And I think we'll just run out the Ground Seal now. It's possible we could wait another turn, but I'd rather not. Well, I guess we're finding out whether our opponent has a Force of Will right now. So I wonder if maybe we should have run out Therapy instead of Duress this turn, as they'd just be a little less likely to Invasive Surgery it, as we're less likely to get it blind. Yeah, I think we almost definitely should have it. People are much less likely to counter a blind therapy than a duress with a hard counter. Just because they're kind of hoping you'll miss. Unless they have something like double force of will, in which case we're going to have a bit of trouble regardless. So, or in our position right now, and they know it. So it looks like maybe our opponent's just about to cast a Leovold. No, Colligan's Command, okay. So I don't know if I like leaving K Command in this matchup. I think it's a bit clunky. I'm not sure if that was correct of them. I'm sure 4-color players can speak to their own opinion. We ditched Past in Flames with a view to finding a ground seal in time, and we got paid off. It was a pretty sketchy play, but I don't know if we have anything else we can do at that time, and we get lucky. And now we're starting to look like we're going to be in good shape. We've now shut off Snapcasters, we've shut off Death Rights, we've turned K commands into just, I guess, like Shock Raven's Crime or whatever it is. It's considerably worse. The only thing we have to worry about now is Leovold. Other than that, we're just going to be able to sit here and play draw go until we basically find enough action to go off. So I feel like maybe we name him to Turak here. We should probably take the him. I guess he's stuck on black mana at the moment, so he needs to draw a land. Alright, so we might as well just go for Ad Nauseam here. He's had one natural draw step in which to find a counterspell. We have a land drop open, we have a Past in Flames in the bin. What do we need here? So we're going to have to... Okay, cool, we find a tutor. So with a tutor, we can just loop the Past in Flames. I think we need to... He should have already Force of Willed by now, so realistically he shouldn't have any interaction. I guess it's possible we want to be cautious. But I think we just go for it. We also shouldn't have fetched between casting the 2 LEDs. So that gave him a window in which K command could have been relevant. Which is kind of a big deal when we're a little bit choked on mana. Or sorry, when we would have been choked on mana. Okay, and we're getting there, and we're finally seeing what exactly Ground Seal can bring to the table. It's been pretty strong in this game, reasonably strong. It stopped his snap from being anything but an ambush viper and turned off his death rights.